Can't believe it. We're already in week 2 of the college football season, and we have some good matchups in week 2 already. Usually, I'm only going to pick 5 games to talk about in these videos, but today we're going to do 6 to start it off right. I just thought that there were 6 games. These are the 6 best games that I think we are going to have this weekend. So let's jump into those predictions for this week. To kick us off, we have Michigan versus Oklahoma. This is a ranked matchup, and it's going to be a good one. Both teams coming off of a victory there in the first week. Michigan beating New Mexico, which New Mexico isn't a strong side, but they are definitely better than who Oklahoma played. Michigan won that game 34-17, where Oklahoma beat Illinois State 35-3 in week 1 of the college football season. Michigan coming off of a not so great season, but so did Oklahoma. Oklahoma were 6-7. Hopefully no one makes a comment about that, with a 46 win percentage there in 2024, 62% win percentage for Michigan. This one, the expected score is in favor of the home side, with the score being 18-17. I do believe it will be that close. Michigan look like they're going to be a pretty good side. I think they handled business against a New Mexico side that is a lot better than Illinois State, but Oklahoma also put up a good amount of points, and I think it might be a defensive-ish game, with these two teams only scoring in the 30s against teams that probably aren't that great, but it was week 1, and even in this one, it is only week 2. So what do we expect? We expect that teams will get lost, especially with these ranked matches like this. But in this one, I like Michigan. I like Michigan going on the road. That might be a pick that a lot of people are going with Oklahoma, with them being at home in this one. But I'm going with Michigan to win this one. And I think that it's going to be a low scoring, but I could see it being 21 to like 18 in favor of Michigan in this matchup. Now, the next matchup that we're going to talk about is an in-state rivalry already in week 2. I love the fact that we are getting top caliber matchups early in college football season. This one, Iowa versus Iowa State. Both teams have victories here to start off the season. Iowa State are actually 2-0, coming off of a victory against Kansas State 24-21 in week 0 there in Ireland, and then getting the job done there at home against South Dakota 55-7, putting up the points there for Iowa State. And then Iowa coming off of a victory there in week 1 against Albany 34-7. This match is being played at Iowa State. Iowa State had a better record last season than Iowa. It was Iowa State 11-4 on the season, Iowa 9-5. Again, this one, I think this is a toss-up. Whenever it comes to rivalry, especially this early in the season, it's going to be a toss-up. The expected outcome is a 20-18 win for Iowa, though, they're on the road, just because of that first match being very close between Iowa and Kansas State. But Kansas State is a lot better than what Iowa has seen, and Iowa State have already been tested. They were tested in that week 0 matchup. So I have to say it. I have to go with the home side here. I think Iowa State wins this one, and I will say that they win this one 24-20. Now, the next game that we're going to talk about is Baylor versus SMU. Yes, SMU are ranked to start out the season and looking pretty good. Had a great season last season, coming off of a 11-3 season, where Baylor, very mediocre, 8-5 last season. I guess it's not too bad of a record in college football, especially with being in the Big 12. But SMU looking really good. Both teams, though, one started off the season good, the other did not. But Baylor did play against Auburn there in week 1. They lost 38-24 in week 1 there. SMU coming off of a big victory against East Texas A&M, winning that matchup 42-13 in week 1. I think that everything is pointing towards SMU on this one. I think that they are better than Baylor. This one was a toss-up for me. I think it's going to be closer than what some people think. I mean, 38-24 against a, usually a always good Auburn side, but we've seen Baylor be a really good team in the NCAA here. But I'm going to have to go with the home side in this one. I think SMU are the better side, and maybe Baylor will turn it around a little bit. But like I said, this is going to be a closer game than what I think people are going to expect. And I think that SMU are going to win this matchup. I keep saying match, but it's actually this matchup. I think they win 28-24 over Baylor. So our next matchup that we are looking at is number 11 Illinois versus Duke here in week 2. The expected score 27-21 in favor of Illinois, and I could see that being the outcome of this matchup. Illinois coming off of a dominant victory in week 1 against Western Illinois, not really that great of an opponent, winning 52-3, where Duke come off a victory there at home against Elon, 45-17. I was going to say 13, but I don't know why, but it was 17. Maybe it was a 3 there against Western Illinois for Illinois. This one, both teams have good teams. Both teams had a good season last season. Illinois 10-3, where Duke were 9-4 on the season last year. Both of these teams, I think, are going to continue to play well, do well like they did last season. But I'm going to have to go with it. I like that expected outcome for this matchup, and I think Illinois win this game 27-21 over Duke on the road. Now, neither one of these teams are ranked, but I think this is a great matchup. This is going to be two teams that kind of a rivalry, very close in proximity. Looking at the grand scheme of things of the United States, we have Virginia versus NC State. The expected outcome is a 29-27 victory for the home side for NC State. Both teams coming off of a victory there in week 1. Virginia beating Coastal Carolina 48-7, where NC State beat East Carolina 24-17. So that's a little weary, but East Carolina are usually a pretty good side. If you ask me, for a lower, I don't want to say, lower tier, but a lower tier team. I hate to say it that way because I don't want to be negative, because ECU are a pretty good side. Virginia coming off of a not so good season. Neither did NC State, both under 500 there in 2024. Virginia, not a great defense last year. Did not actually really not a great offense, only putting up 272 points on the season, where NC State put up 371 and allowed 392. I think this is going to be a very close one, but I think that you have to lean towards the home side in this one. I think that it's going to be a good game. Don't think that we're going to see 29 or 27 in this one. I think that NC State are going to win this match up 21-14 over Virginia. Now we head on down to Florida for South Florida versus number 13 Florida. It's going to be a good one. I feel like every single one of these matches this week that I have picked are going to be very close, and some rivalries right off the bat. The expected scores in this one is 32-26 in favor of the home side for the Gators. Both teams coming off of victories in week 1. Florida had a very easy opponent in Long Island, beating them 55-0. But I think that South Florida had a good matchup in week 1, and I think a lot of us expected that game to be a lot closer. South Florida won 34-7 over Boise State. So I think that South Florida can give the Gators a run for their money here in week 2. Both teams over 500 last season, pretty good seasons overall. I think the Gators should have been a little bit better. Maybe they're going to do that this season. They're going to do better this season than what they did last season, I think. And I have to go with the home side in this one. I think the Gators are better than South Florida, but I think, again, it's going to be a close one. Think we see as many points as what the expected score is supposed to be there. I'm going to say that the Gators win this one 17-14. I do. I think it's going to be a 3-point game. I think the Gators win there with a field goal right at the end of the game. So those are my 6 predictions for week 2 of college football. Tell me down below what your picks are out of those 6, or what your big picks are for this week and week 2. And if you like the content, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you like the content. We will see you for week 3